Clark After Dark, baby, live and direct on RaceON.com. My boy Cortland Smith, Alexandria, Louisiana's best, going to join me here in just a couple of moments, folks. We're ready to bring you here. Episode number 46 of Clark After Dark. Got a little bit of Stranglehold from Ted Nugent's going to bring us in. Might as well just bring Cortland in now, baby, because we're jamming, right? Hey, this song, like, let's be real. This song just never gets old. To me, it doesn't. Like, I'm not a huge Ted Nugent fan, to be honest with you, Cortland. I probably can't name another Ted Nugent song, but Stranglehold, it just goes like Cool Whip. I don't even know. It just goes together, right? It just goes together.
Certified banger. You know, it's just like you said, it's one of them that never gets old. You could play that intro, and I'm in my music taste. Who imagine we were talking about music on Clark After Dark here, but in my music taste, I'm such a beat guy. Like, I don't even listen to lyrics half the time, and love the beat of it, just everything about it, man. Just certified banger, never gets old.
It is good stuff. There is no doubt about it, man. I'm fresh off of a weekend. I was up in Wheatland, Missouri. First time I've been to the Oil Speedway since June 27th of 2009. And went back up there to call the United States Modified Touring Series action this past weekend on Friday and Saturday night. And, man, I was excited to go back to that racetrack, obviously, because it's, quote, the diamond of dirt tracks, right? They live by that moniker. And I was interested to see how much things have changed at that racetrack and the entirety of the venue, Cortland, since 2009. And since I've been there, they built Lake Lucas, right? They got the drag boat track, which is really cool. They had drag boat races going on during the day on Friday and Saturday. The drag boat races started at 9:30 a.m., so I didn't see a whole lot of those. Let's just be real about it. I'm not up at 9 o'clock in the morning too often. Let's just be honest about it, especially after I announced the night before. So did go eat lunch, though, at a phenomenal Mexican restaurant with Trenton Berry and the Race and Dirt crew on Saturday. So that was really cool. But, man, the racetrack, it is truly as advertised, man. It is as advertised. The concrete pit area, the food is great. I had a couple great hamburgers from their concession stand. They've just the entirety of the whole venue is just breathtaking. It really is. From the moment you turn into that place and you go through it, I mean, just walking up to get your armbands for the weekend, right? It's just, everything is just so professional. You go in through this door and you sign in. Everything is just so calculated and just so professional. And obviously not every racetrack in America can do this because we don't have the funds to do it. And one thing that I really enjoyed about my weekend, Cortland, is I stayed in one of Forrest Lucas, right? He owns Lucas Oil Speedway, owns Lucas Oil. He sponsors Lucas Oil Stadium that the Indianapolis Colts play in. He's a billionaire, right? Lucas Oil Products, Forrest Lucas. I stayed in one of his 8-bedroom ranch houses throughout the weekend. I'm not bragging or gloating, but no, it was a really nice place. 8 bedrooms. It had a basement. From the outside, you wouldn't expect this house to be as big as it was on the inside, but had some secret compartments. Just a really badass place, and really thankful that they put us up in that place. It really made the weekend that much nicer. Cordell and his dad and some other guys with the Race and Dirt crew stayed there this weekend. But, man, it was just a really, really good time. Friday night, the racetrack started off really slimy early on in the night, Cortland, and qualifying was really, really greasy. It was really interesting to see what the track was going to do. Tanner Mullins scored his 16th win of the year on Friday, his 4th in USMTS. That just goes to show how dominant he's been in other divisions. He's been really good on the Heartland Modified Tour this year, and he's obviously been good with USMTS. He currently sits 3rd in points. Rolled into the weekend, actually tied with Jim Chisholm for 2nd in the points. Rodney Sanders, still your point leader, leaving Wheatland. Kyle Strickler, his last 4 or 5 starts in USMTS were not very good. Let's just be honest. If you go back and you look at my race pass, he had not had very good runs. I'd say Thursday night at Creek County, Sapulpa, Oklahoma, may have been a little bit of a bounce back for him in his CDR race car. Keep in mind, we just talked about it on this podcast last week. He just won $125,000 winning a modified race at Ogilvy Raceway, did the high side tickler. He bounces back in a big way. Dude, I kid you not. He was underneath his race car, Cortland, in the middle of the day Saturday after Friday's races. I'm telling you, sweating his ass off, which, dude, let's be real. It was a balmy, like 71 degrees all day Saturday. But nonetheless, Strickler's still under there. The sun was out. The guns were out. He was down there working on that race car, trying to get it dialed in. And Trent interviewed him after his heat race win. And he said, dude, if you'd have come down to the pits at any point of the Saturday, not sure what this reference means. He said, it looks like Harry Wholesale down here. I'm not sure what that reference means. But he did, dude. He pulled everything out from underneath the race car. He said he was on the phone with Kay Dillard. And whatever they did, they got that number 8 CDR race car dialed in, buddy, because, man, he came home to roost with the $5,000 score on Saturday night, did Kyle Strickler, and a well-deserved victory for him and his first of his career at the Diamond of Dirt tracks. And, man, just a great weekend. Phenomenal. Saw some Amish people on the side of the road. There was share the road sign. Like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but, dude, I truly, man, it was I'm so grateful for the opportunities that I'm given, man. I love traveling and going to different places. And after not going to a place for 17 years, it's almost like going there for the first time all over again. So great weekend at Lucas Oil Speedway.
Man, when you talk about the facility, just to put it into perspective, there's a car wash in the pit area, ladies and gentlemen. Like that's how pristine this place is. Like we went there a couple years ago for the Show Me 100, and just like you said, you go to walk in to get your armband. It's an AC building. You go to concession stand. I mean, it's top notch, you know. And I mean, if a car wash in the pit area, a 2-bay car wash at that, doesn't tell you how nice this thing is. I mean, it's just like the one that you would drive up on any day, and really cool place. The track I feel like that Lucas Oil Speedway is a one end to the other. And what I mean by that is people either really like it or people either really hate it. And there's no in between, because that place is known early on in the night. They love the water truck, and it's greasy, and it's kind of like a patchy greasy. Then it's gripped up, and then all of a sudden the gripped up spots get really slick really fast. And it's a very technical racetrack. You hear guys talk about it and they just can never figure it out. And so I think that's what you see, you know, kind of a lot of different guys. And I mean, of course, Tanner Mullins and Kyle Strickler, they're guys in modifieds that are always going to run good, but it's somewhere that I feel like a lot of people do struggle getting a hold of, but it always makes it better when you show up to a racetrack and the pits are concrete and you got a car wash there in the pits. That's probably my favorite part. I've seen the off-road track and the boats and all, but whenever you race on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you went out there, had a hot lap in an old grease pit, it's nice to go there and wash her off one day or another. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, it is such a nice place. I mean, it truly is. It's one of I think it's the third or fourth racetrack I've ever announced that has an elevator to get to the press box. They do have stairs, but I'm not going to lie to you, buddy. I took that elevator more oftentimes than I did not. So I think I've announced the Texas Motor Speedway's dirt track. They have an elevator. Royal Purple Raceway, unfortunately, they demolished that place. It no longer is in Baytown, Texas. Called the races there with USMTS several years ago, probably 12 years ago. And then, of course, Lucas Oil Speedway this past weekend. That Lake Lucas is really nice. Like I said, they had the drag boat races going on, and we also had they had the Pro 2 and the Pro 1 tracks. A lot of people that have iRacing are familiar with the Pro trucks, or, you know, you've seen them on TV or Map TV before. But they weren't there this weekend, but I did go up and look at the track, took some pictures of it. It's just a badass place, folks. If you've never been, put the Show Me 100 on the agenda, or maybe a USMTS weekend. I saw a ton of comments throughout the weekend on like the USMTS highlight clips, you know, from the races throughout the weekend. More comments were people saying, "Where are all the fans? Man, the stands are empty. Where are all the fans?" And like, let's be real about it, folks. The stands weren't packed, but there was more people there than what it looked like. I promise you, there was probably 2 or 2,500 people in them stands. Those are big ass grandstands, and it doesn't, you don't get the full glimpse of how many people don't. A lot of them stands are up near that covered area at the top of the grandstands, and you can't really see it whenever the cameras that are, you know, streaming pan by. So for what it's worth, hey, it would have done a lot if all the people that were complaining about no people in the stands, if they would have actually been at the track, then maybe they could have made a difference. But whatever, not calling them out or anything here. It was a phenomenal weekend. Had a ton of fun at the Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. If something else comes up about my trip, I ate at Brahms for the first time. That was something that I did. Surprising, I've never eaten there before. Have you ever eaten at Brahms, Cortland?
I can't say I have, and maybe I did and didn't know it, but I can't say I have.
10-4. All right, then. Well, moving right along, buddy. You were at the Boohill Speedway this weekend in Greenwood, Louisiana. You were on the call with my boy Josh Bell. You took the opportunity, man, and I'm fired up that you did. I tuned in to RaceON Saturday morning when I got back from Lucas Oil Speedway. I was at the house, and I tuned in and kind of scanned through and watched it, man. Y'all sounded great together. Sounded like y'all had a ton of fun, and I think that was the number one objective. 96 cars in the pits at Boothill. But I'm going to let you hit us off right here after I just hit us off with Lucas Oil and hit us with Court's Corners right here on Clark After Dark.
Court's Corners for August the 5th of 2025, ladies and gentlemen. First things first, IMCA modified feature at KSP. Rob Slott gets the lead early. Jacob Prickle and Dylan Blackburn come around there on the top side and absolutely just are railing it. And with about 5 to go, here comes Jacob Upchurch, and he is sitting there just picking at this bottom. And man, KSP, more times than not, dude, this place is really, really racing. I'm glad I get to go back and watch a lot of races and get to spectate it, man. That's the good thing about RaceON. You can go back and watch the replays, and you get to see this place. And a lot of times it's down there around the bottom, but when that cushion's there, it can make it really interesting. But anyway, back to about 5 to go. They're battling 3 cars between Perkle, Blackburn, and Upchurch. And old Perkle seen Upchurch there start circling that bottom pretty well, and he lit the switch, flipped the switch, lit the wick, whatever you want to call it. And he went in there and threw a slider and checked out to pick up the dub. And just a really cool place, man. I feel like they race almost every single weekend. Like they got a really good Saturday night program and just a heck of a job for them modified guys. Like I said, to that place, there's always one feature a night guaranteed is going to be a banger from that place. And it's been on my Quartz Corner several times. So really enjoy getting to go back and watch those races. The second thing, the factory stock's at 67. Of course, this weekend we got the factory stock frenzy coming up 67 Speedway. Neil Kemp wins, leads early on. I think he led all the laps. If he didn't, he led darn near all of them. But Dustin Durham got up there and challenged him pretty good. Like he was at his left rear, and I think Durham just got a little hot there in the 1 and 2. And it was a different kind of 67 that we didn't necessarily see at the Mike Parker, where a lot of eyes were on it. It was like that patchy where it's like slick here and then a little grip spot and some crumbs. Like it seemed like a really tricky place. Of course, the top's there. My boy Tim Crawley, I guarantee he's gonna have a top at the 67 Speedway. You ain't got to worry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. But really tricky surface, but Neil Kemp picks up the win there. Then he turns around and wins at Boohill Speedway on Saturday night. So really good weekend for Club 20, headed into one of the better paying factory stock races coming up. And I know he's excited to have the speed that he has because, I mean, I'll go ahead and say it. He hasn't necessarily been the Club 20 of old, and that's just kind of not that he's been slow by no means, but he's not been the Club 20 of old. And there's by no means no harshness by that. Me and Neil joked in victory lane, and so it's all good. But he wins. Second place, Josh Martin. I mean, it was a really good field. It was a quality field of cars were there. Second place was Josh Martin, and third was Dakota Sales. Josh Martin passed 6 cars to get to second. Dakota Sales passed 7 cars to get to third. So, I mean, those are guys. I believe Sonny Chofin was there, Chase Hatton. A lot of guys went there to try to get some laps early on. So, I mean, really a quality field. Ricky Ingles was there. Really quality field, trying to get some test and tune laps in there before the factory stock frenzy. Next up, I got to give a shout out to my boy Ashton Burford, man. Picks up his first dub in the Rookie Sportsers at Boothill, man. My boy AB, and if you don't know Ashton Burford, he may not be the most talkative person. He definitely ain't as talkative as me, but I seen that kid essentially grow up at the racetrack. When Jamie was running the super late models, literally Jamie Burford's only crew guy was Ashton, and Ashton was 13, 14, and just out there slinging wrenches. I mean, he's probably there's very few 12-year-olds that knew how to make a change on the J bar, and he knew how to do that. You know what I mean? So just a really cool family, man. The Burfords are Jamie, I don't talk to him very often, but when I do, we always cut up, and just really good people, man. And Burford, to compound on that, Jamie Burford won on Friday night at 67 in the mod. So just a really good weekend for the Burford family, man. Like I said, dude, they're a cast of characters, man. Jamie, I giggle because I could just think of a million different stories with me and JB at the end of the races. We walk up and he just like, dude, I was terrible. Or like, dude, I was pretty good tonight. And he was like, I'm pretty good tonight, but I knocked the deck out of it in the heat race. And I just kind of really good people. And last but not least, coming up this weekend, the Darty Smith Memorial, man. I appreciate all the support. We got all these racetracks running, and I mean, I'm not going to talk about that, man. I'm just going to simply put it from me, and I'm going to speak for Darty here because I know he'd have the same opinion, man. We got all these racetracks racing, and nothing would make him happier to see packed grandstands and packed pit areas at every single one of these racing events. So go out, find yourself a seat at a racetrack, and enjoy the weekend, man. We have a lot of races going on around here in the Arklatex. I know if you're in the Shreveport area, there's a whole lot closer, but man, there's a lot of races going on within a 3.5-hour radius of central Louisiana. So man, go out there and support the weekend by all means. What I hope you're at the Darty Smith Memorial. Yes, but at the end of the day, nothing would make Darty and myself, because at the end of the day, I'm a true race fan and want to see racing succeed. Go pack the grandstands, ladies and gentlemen. Go have you a good weekend at the racetrack, no matter where you go.
Please do that. That's Quartz Corners. Are you done with it? I wasn't sure.
Yeah, that's it. That was 4. There's only 4 corners in the racetrack. We're good.
No, that was good stuff. Yeah, man, you do a phenomenal job. We appreciate that. I want to add a couple of things on top of that. That's what I like Quartz Corners about, is because you give good information, and then I get to kind of add on to that information. That's one thing I love about this is, 128 cars at Kennedale Speedway Park this past weekend. That place continues to be the premier destination for racers in the DFW area. I mean, they consistently have a great car count. I used to always say that it was the Boothill of the DFW area, which is speaking highly of them, right? I mean, and vice versa around. They're just a great racetrack. James Lopez has done a great job over there. You'll see people on social media bitching from time to time, but guess what? They're typically back in the pits the following Saturday night. So the place does really well. They typically have a good racetrack. Shout out to Lopez and KSP and all those guys. Neil Kemp got the broom out, like you said, sweep the weekend, man. He's finding the speed at the right time. I think he'd have liked to have this speed around the 30K, but man, he's really dialed up some speed right here at the right time. 10,000's on the line here in just a couple of weeks. August 30th to be exact, King of the Hill. He'll try to win that race for the third time in his career. And also on top of, you mentioned Dakota Sells coming from 7th to 3rd on Friday night. Man, what a great run for him. Got the feature win, his first career USRE factory stock win Saturday night at Arclitech Speedway. Man, it sounds like to me Dakota Sells got up on the wheel and he earned those pair of wins. I mean, a third and a first. About that, man, a pair of podiums for a driver that is really looking to make a name for himself. He's got a really nice looking race car. Hey, he's proven that green is not bad luck in racing, folks. That green black 1X car. Fastest 1X since Ryan Burke. I said it right here on Clark After Dark, man. It's always cool, Cortland, to see first-time winners, and Dakota Sells got it done in Vivian on Saturday night.
Yeah, first time winners, dude. Absolutely love it. And I'm one green. You say green's bad luck. I feel like you make your own luck, and that's just how I stand about it. You got to keep on top of your program, and if the wheel falls off or the bolt comes out of the trailing arm, that's just a lack of maintenance. But anyway, to go back to the deal, man, this racing stuff is hard, man, and especially in the USRE factory stock division, there's never a night or a race that you're just going to luck into a win, because there's always quality cars no matter where you race at with the USRE factory stocks. And like I think I've said it on here before, dude. You don't want to see just wins given out to everybody. You got to earn them, but you love to see the wins get spread out among everybody, because at the end of the day, we used to, but you spend a lot of time and money into this racing deal to go up and down, beat up and down the road with your trailer, your truck, and all your free time gets put into this. Your weekends are essentially gone whenever you go racing on the weekend, because Sunday you're just sitting there trying to recoup any sleep that you can. And absolutely awesome that he picks up the dub at Arclitex there, and had a really good run at 67. You said he started 7th, but he started actually 10th and drove up to 3rd. And I had to pass some really good cars. I had to pass Sonny Schofen, Chase Hatton, and Ricky Engel started up there. So, really good weekend for him. And I'm sure he's happy as all get out. He couldn't wait for this big show at 67 this weekend. You know what I mean?
Man, I'll always say it. Always earned, never given. Even if it's just 2 cars in a race. If you won it, you beat the other guy. That's all you had to do. That's all you know what I mean? Like, that was your task and you got it done. Always earned, never given. To complete the totality of the results from 67 on Friday night, Arkansas factory stock winner was Keaton Atkinson. Of course, Chad Callender scored his 3rd win at 67 on the year in the Sportscar division. Neil Kemp, like you mentioned, factory stocks. The high side hustler, Jamie Burford, got a win, and it's good to see he's got that huge race car dialed back into his liking. I talked to him. It's funny, you were talking about conversations you have with JB. I had a conversation with him at Arrowhead before the arms race a couple of weeks ago. And he's like, man, we're just been terrible. Like, we're like, damn. He's scratching his head, kind of like Gene Border scratching his head, like type shit. And he's like, man, I don't know, dude. After Waco, we set quick time with USMTS, and he said, man, I went to fucking right front shocks on the left rear, and I was doing all kind of stupid shit. And that's Jamie for you. And he's like, but I think we got it. He said, I think we got it back to standard, so we're gonna find out tonight. Anyway, that's all I got for Jamie Burford. Stephanie Sharp got the front wheel drive tuner. How about my girl Stephanie Sharp getting the win Friday night in the tuners? Well earned, deserved win for her. And the limited mod B-mod winner was Connor Williams. That was at 67 on Friday night. Arclitech Speedway, I want to hit the results. Obviously, you and I, neither one of us were there this weekend. Hunter Allen scored, I believe, his 4th or 3rd total victory between Boothill and Arclitex in the rookie Sportster. J.D. Ammons got his 2nd of the year, one at Boothill and now one at Arclitex. About Carson Bradley scoring the USRA Limited / B-mod win. That's a beautiful race car. That Matt Tools by Bradley Graff. It is so badass. That young man has always had a really clean race car. That C88, man, I don't know. That's got to be one of the sharpest cars in the pits. Would you agree?
I have to agree, and I only saw the victory lane pick and only saw about half of it. You know what I mean? Like, and in that half, I was impressed. Like, that is a clean looking ride. There you go. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. So Dakota Sells gets the USRA factory stock win. Grayson Wooten, how about that for the 76 car? He gets the USRA tuner win, and the Mod Lights brought 22 cars to the Vivian, Louisiana pits, and Scott Jordan, driving the number 8 Mod Light, got the victory over there. You were at Boothill, like we mentioned, with Josh Bell, man. What happened over there in the at the old Greenwood Oval on Saturday night, huh?
Well, I hope everybody had as much fun at the racetrack as I did. I'm just going to say it like that. I'm going to steal your little moniker. You're just a fan arm with a microphone. Well, I'm just a big goofball that's a washed-up factory stock driver / regional tire guy for a late model team armed with a microphone. You know what I mean? That's all there is to it. But hit me with the breaking news there. But man, I had a blast, dude. Me and Josh got up there and we just deuced it up. I hope everybody that listened enjoyed it, and the fans in the stands enjoyed it. I made a couple people laugh when I was walking up and down the grandstands going to interview, and one guy yelled out, "Don't fall again!" And I was like, "All right, the touche, I deserve that one," you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, like we mentioned, Neil Kent picks up the win in the factory stocks. Man, that was a really good race there. The first half of the A feature, man. Dustin Hennigan was right there on him and was rolling the bottom real well. And then I talked to Dustin after the race, and he said, man, once that bottom just kind of went away and a lot of the brown left, he was just kind of struggling. And it kind of lends to what Club 20 is doing right now. And then when I mean back to Club 20 of old, when that thing gets slick and you got to find speed, man, I'll never forget one of the King of the Hills that he won. He kind of run that same line, but he would enter high into 3 and 4 and then diamond the corner and make that straightaway as long as possible. And he was doing that this past weekend. And when you're able to do that, man, your car is really good. I said it on the broadcast, to be able to enter up top with your right sides in the brown and then turn off of it about midway through the corner and drive down the banking and down the track to get that speed, man, your stuff's got to be pretty good not to lose traction at any point or be too tight to do that. So obviously he's rolling real well. Dakota White come in there. I mean, he's sniffing hard, dude. He's turned the corner here these last couple months and was right there on Dustin Hennigan. I joked with him. I said, tell Bubba to water the bottom of 3 and 4 a little bit more, and you might have a chance to win, because he was rolling the bottom really, really well. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I told all them boys at the 30,000, run that bottom in 1 and 2. Jeffrey Abbey done it, won the heat race, and then by golly, look what happened this past week. And you go watch that race. They was hooking the bottom of 1 and 2. Maybe Cortland knows something, or maybe I just got lucky. I think I got lucky, more likely. But anyway, that was trying to tell you, that was your top 3 in the factory stocks. Club 20 wins, Dustin Hennigan second, the 15X was third, Josh Daugherty was fourth, and Logan Gordon, man, dude, he's digging right now, man. He literally has had speed all year, and it's just a little bit more racecraft, you know. I mean, he's young. I mean, that ain't nothing bad to say. Just wising up racing wise, and man, when he gets it figured out, he'll be a threat. I mean, he is a threat right now every weekend, but he'll really start breaking through the wins. What you got?
Just want to add before I want to come back to you too. I want to keep going on Boothill. Before we got completely off, I wanted to add about Logan Gordon is, he won at Super B a couple weeks ago. Remember when we rained out the King of the Hill, he went to Super B, won the feature. This is where I've seen Logan Gordon push the progression in his racing career. A couple years ago, if you put him on the front row, he may not win the heat race. And right now, if you put that L88 car on the front row of a heat race, he's checking out and throwing the keys on the front desk of the Holiday Inn. You know what I'm saying? That young man, he's really, really come a long way, man. He's got the speed. Like you said, man, he's working on the racecraft, but he's really been able to race door to door and race 3 and 4 wide all year and hadn't had a lot of crashes like that. I talk about it over time and time again. One thing that I love so much about this sport is watching kids like Logan Gordon. Like watching them push the progression and get better. And man, he has. Shout out to Logan Gordon. And man, what was the racetrack like on Saturday night? You mentioned they had good strip down there 1 and 2. They were able to get through. But I mean, what was the track like on Saturday night?
Man, it started out kind of greasy. Bubba and Rollo they do keep it really hard, and that's just so it doesn't get rough, and that's the bottom line. So when they go out there and water it, and I think they got a little bit lucky. I kind of wish that this Saturday would have been the Saturday before for the King of the Hill, because it was really nice weather and the racetrack was really, really good. It was able to get a little more water on it. It was a little more shade. It wasn't necessarily 95. It was about a solid 89, 91, and people don't think those 4 degrees matter. Well, I'll tell you, they matter, friends, and a lot more cloud coverage than we had the Friday before. So, man, track was really good. The heat races, they were kind of one lane. We didn't necessarily break out with a banger. You kind of just got that middle to top worked in. And of course, they seem to always run the slider line, when it's real greasy like that, you try to get in there and turn and you're just too tight, or the track's just a little too greasy for your front suspension to really work and to get the car to turn. So the heat races weren't necessarily the greatest, but man, the feature races, and I mean, all it took was a couple heat races to really get the slime blown off in the other parts of the racetrack. Because it wasn't like the whole track was slimy. They just kind of had that 2-car to 3-car width gap through the middle and leaving up around the top. And once they kind of got that slime in there and actually started racing on it, man, it got really good. And I think I said on the broadcast, if there's ever going to be a track that just isn't absolutely 2 lanes, a top and a bottom, there's nothing more entertaining than watching a guy have to go hook the bottom of one end and then pony up and go rip the top of the other end. Like that to me, that just really tells you how good your car is, because you have 2 completely different aspects of how to go about it, because you got to really slow down to hit that bottom of 1 and 2, and then in 3 and 4, free her up and put her on the chip. But it's not like you can free her up down the back straightaway. Your car's got to be balanced, So, man, really good racetrack. And it's we've said it all year. The first couple of races at Boothill when they were breaking almost like 200 cars a night. We kind of had it rubber up there a few times, but that's just part of it's part of dirt track racing. But man, track was absolutely phenomenal. And when we talk about having a top in 3 and 4, when you talk about limited modifieds and a top at Boohill Speedway, like I feel like we talk about them till we're sick to our stomach. But Derek Grigsby wins again, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Derek and Paul are my buddies, but like, dude, that's 69 something else right now at Boothill. And I asked, like, what makes this thing so fast? I've asked him this like 3 times. Or I got to interview him twice in Victory Lane. First time he didn't say a whole lot, but this time he's like, I ain't gonna let all my secrets out, but man, he may have been throwing us a curveball. So I don't know. I know these racers are fishy, but he said, old Jason Engel, he said, Jason's built me a really good piece. So man, he is confident in that 69 car right now. Dustin Hennigan pulled double duty. He picks up 2 second place finishes on the night. He finished second in the limited modified race, and K1 Stephen Guidry finished third. Man, he's top 3 these guys to death up there. It's plain and simple. Everybody around the Arklatex, and if you don't agree with me, that's fine. But everybody around here is chasing that 69 on a regular basis, and to outrun him, whenever somebody does outrun him, and people have, I don't think it's like impossible. I'm sitting here just pumping them up, but to outrun him, your stuff's got to be good. And whenever you do get to outrun him, you go ahead and put that little chip on your shoulder because 69's having a phenomenal year right now. The limited mods. Sportster wise, dude, a really good race, dude. These Sportsters, like I mentioned, they don't have a whole lot of motor, so they can't get really too far stretched out. At least last weekend they were. I don't know. The Sportsters, we might as well call them the DQ class for as many people that get disqualified every other weekend in that operation, because that's crazy. But anyway, not to get rolling down the DQ, dude. That's my boy Steve Bogus's job, not mine. So, but the Sportsters just did change their name to the DQ class. But Chad Calendar wins. Rodney Howell was second. John Tuggle third. Robert Barber fourth. And David
Wait, somebody
Vosberg
got
was fifth.
DQ'd?
No, nobody got DQ'd.
Oh.
I'm just saying it feels like every other weekend somebody gets DQ'd. No. I ain't out. No, nobody got DQ'd this weekend, folks. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I maybe used bad verbiage there.
You're good.
No, nobody got DQ'd. I'm just saying we could change it to the DQ class for as many. No, you're good. And like I said, rookie Sportster, man, Ashton Burford wins. Zane Hare and Chase Cook and Ashton Burford, Ashton Burford wins. Trip Caskey was second. Zane Hare was third. It had a phenomenal race in the rookie Sportsters. I think it was an 02 or an 04 car. I did not write his name down, and I wish I did. A red and white car with a gold number. Oh, it's right here. Maybe I can. Oh, I think I got it pulled up. Yeah, I'm going to find his name real quick. Anyway.
Britt Bickham. Is that you're talking about?
Is it Brett Beckham?
You say 04?
Let's see.
I heard you say 04. Britt Bickham would be the 04 car. You talking about Sportsters?
Yeah, I think it was Britt. Yeah, Sportsters. Yeah, Britt Bickham.
Tippy's son. Yeah, Tippy's son.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah. But yeah, dude. I mean, just a really cool race, dude. Beckham kind of got up there and got in the wall. If it was him, I'm 95% sure that was him. They were 3 wide, like several laps, and a really cool race. And he kind of hit the wall and come down the track, and it got Zane, and then it got Cook, and it brought Chase Cook's night to an early end. But man, the rookie sports deal, I talked about it. It's great to see the young guys get in there and be able to duke it out and actually learn to drive a race car. Because nothing against the tuners, I'll hit on them, but like when you go to move up from a tuner to any other car, the tuners are front wheel drives, and they don't drive nothing like any other stock car does. So at least with the Sportsters and the rookie Sportsters, these young kids are learning good, valuable lessons behind the wheel. And I'm not saying that you don't learn good lessons in a tuner, guys. Don't come at me here. I'm just saying you can apply the things you learn in the rookie Sportsters to an actual dirt track car whenever you do go to progress and move up. But anyway, Ashton Burford wins. Trip Caskey second. Zane Hare third in the rookie Sportsters. The tuners, dude, they were side by side for like 15 laps. Tyler Ellis and Josh Warren. Again, Josh Warren is in an intense battle for the win in a tuner. But Tyler Ellis picks up the dub. Josh Warren was second, and D. Harris was third in the tuner race. They didn't have very many of them, but heck, when you got 2 cars that race side by side for 15 laps, you don't need the rest of the field. And that's not a shot. I mean, I wish it was a full field, but you're going to watch the race for the you're going to watch the race for the lead anyway.
Yeah,
exactly.
Clay Gardner and Josh Warren had that hell of a race over at Boothill. Yeah, man, that's awesome. That Tyler Ellis has really found some speed too. I mean, if you're beating Josh Warren right now, like, you've got to feel really good about what you just did, because Josh Warren has been rolling. Like, just be real. He's as fast in the front wheel drive style car as he was in his rear wheel drive Toyota Celica back in 1999. Come on.
Well, I hear you, but also before we jump off of Boothill, I just want to say the B mods. Cody Tupper wins, and you probably heard that a few times this year. Yeah. Probably heard that a few times this year. No big deal. Austin DuPont, Chad DuPont round out the podium. Really good race there. And dude, I'm telling you, Austin kind of reeled in Cody there towards the end. Yeah.
Austin's fast.
He reeled in Cody towards the end there. And I don't, maybe a couple more laps. He really gets to the back bumper and has a really good shot, but they're the last 5 laps, dude. Austin was just as fast as Cody Tupper and actually reeled him in some. So really showed really good speed there. Like I said, Cody Tupper wins. Also DuPont second, Chad DuPont third. Daniel Jones finished 4th. He was the only B-Mod god all night to really go up there and try to hammer the top side. So shout out to my boy 2-3 there, because in the heat race, everybody was married to the bottom, and he kind of just said, screw it. Like, what are you going to do? Just follow him around here? So he went and put her on the lip up there and put on a show for the fans. The B-Mods were kind of bottom dominant all night, and that's just part of it. The part of the program that they got called in, it was just the bottom just happened to be a lot better at those times. And Jason Poole comes 5th. And the Powder Puff, dude, probably the most exciting and the most nervous race for whatever guy that had his race car out there, the most nervous he's probably been on. The Queen of the Hill, man, Kimberly Kilcrease. I mean, she checked out, put the keys on the counter early, my friend. She was gone like a freight train and gone like yesterday. You hear me? She picked up the dub. Come on back. She picked up the dub in the 25M. So, Cody Myers, I don't know what you're doing, but if the car can win without you, I don't know what you're doing, friend. Just joking. I love you, Cody.
Christy Harvin's been really fast too. She's won a pair of the Powder Puff races at 67. I think she competed too, but man, I wanted to add on that Queen of the Hill deal, man. Lady started 12th and came home 6th. I love her to death. Miss Renee Bailiff, but she drove the orange 67 cars. Her first time in a race car in around 40 years. She's a former track champion at Webster Speedway. Yeah, she held the track record at Webster Speedway in a full body for years. She was the first lady at Boothill, the original queen of the hill. And man, she returned to the cockpit for the first time in like 40 years, dude. She was so excited. She's made several Facebook posts about it. She sent me a couple text messages during the races on Saturday. She was updating me like as it was going on. She messaged me like 1:00 in the morning Saturday. He's like, "Well, this is how I did," it just means a lot to me, man. I've been good friends with that lady for years, man, and I think a lot of her. And I just think it was so cool that she got to get back behind the wheel of a race car. She was so excited about it, man. She was in tears because racing was her life, man. Like if anybody went to Boohill Speedway in the 1980s or in the 90s, they knew who Renee Staten was. And dude, I'm telling you, Renee Staten was no slouch, dude. She won races and she was good. And yeah, it was just really badass to see her back in a race car. Another thing on Boothill I want to mention to you. So when I was scrolling through RaceON, when I was sitting at that house on Saturday night, I pulled at some point in the broadcast right when Dustin Hennigan and Gary Greer tied horns in turn number 3. And all I know is I heard Cortland when I pulled it in. I stopped on Cortland and go, I don't know what happened, Josh Bell. I'm just going to let go and let God. And I don't know if you want to let go and let God right here on Clark After Dark, episode 46, and you don't want to talk about this again, but what the hell happened with Dustin Hennigan and Gary Greer Saturday night?
I mean, no, and I'm not laughing about it. It's just the fact that you like happen to stop right there and it hit you with the let go and let God. I ain't gonna make no comments, man. I said the same, and I'm gonna use precedents, I guess, or a past event. Like the Nick Hoffman, Tyler Bruning deal. Like I was not in the car. I was not in either one of the cars. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if there was contact before. I know I was the announcer. I was supposed to be watching, but guess what? I only got one set of eyes and one of the eyes legally blind. That's why I wear glasses. So I can't I can see them, but I obviously I called it. And I don't know if Dustin hit Greer and then Greer went back there and retaliated. Somebody told me later on that Greer kind of went in there or Dustin maybe went up there and didn't hit him, but kind of tightened his room up there. I don't know, dude. It was a madhouse there for a second. It really was. And it was just let go and let God, my friend. That's all there is to it. I mean, I'm going to let you.
Silly. It was wild. I wasn't there, so I can speak on it. I'm going to speak on what I saw. Okay. So, and this is unbiased. Like, really, honestly, if I thought Dustin was in the wrong, I'd say it. You know what I mean? I try not to speculate too much, and I don't really put fault on anybody when I'm watching the race. Hey, sometimes mistakes are made, things happen. I thought that this was boiled over. This was more than a mistake. It looked like Gary got a little frustrated about something, and he gassed her on up. It'd been one thing if he got into him, and but he kind of stayed in the gas and spun the 16 around. That was the first thing I saw And the first thing I heard was let go and let God, and saw Dustin Hennigan going around like a top. So I was like, man, what is going on in Greenwood tonight? But yeah, I mean, it was just close quarters racing. Dustin had a really good run up off the bottom. And the way he came up off the corner, like Greer, it looked like Greer was also like coming down too at the same time when he was coming off the corner. And I don't know. And I saw he had to check the brakes just a little bit. And I don't know if that just frustrated him, but if that's what it did, then whatever. Hey, he took care of it himself. He got the old black handkerchief. He was sought in court, or he was seen in court, and he was dismissed for his efforts. So that was that.
What we should have done is RaceON missed a chance there, like everybody else does in racing videos. Clip it. Who was at fault here?
Yeah.
And then let the Facebook world decide. I mean, then I promise you there would have been 800 people that would have told us how we need to race, how you need to enter the corner, because everybody got it figured out. Like I said, I wasn't in neither car. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, let go and let God. Like that's all there was to it. Somebody went home missing a left rear quarter panel, and somebody got sent to the trailer. But you make your own call, friend. That's all I got to say.
Hey, also, man, I've been watching Derek Grigsby race for many, many years, right? We've seen him go on some pretty good runs before. I want to say that this year and the last couple of years, this is the best run that 69 has ever been on in the entirety of his career. He's had some really good runs before, but I think this is the fastest he's ever been, and I think the most confident he's been, and I think that's pretty lethal. Keep in mind, he has not won the West Grigsby Memorial yet, and folks, you better bet your hard-earned dollar that 69 wants to win that race in memory of his dad here coming up in September. So, listen, if you want to win at Boohill Speedway, or if you want to gain speed and get to show outrun him. I mean, that should be the standard. You know, we were bitching, or people were bitching and talking about B mods racing with limited mods for such a long time, and it was talking about B mods. I'm like, listen, if you have a limited modified, you should strive for your program to run up here with the 69. Listen, there's several guys who are Kevin Dupont almost beat him earlier this year at Boothill. There was a slide job there on the last lap. Like, listen, he's beatable. It's not that he can't be beat. It's just his home racetrack. He's really good right now. We talk about confident. It's a lethal substance. But, 69's fast right now. Everybody knows it. But I just wanted to point out, I think this might be the best run he's ever been on in his career, which is saying something. That's how good he is right now. So, any additional facts or thoughts or tidbits on the hill?
I mean, in all reality, man, a really good night. We were done by 11:30, I believe, and that was with the powder puff race. I mean, I almost said something, but I didn't want to jinx us, and not that I believe in jinx. It's just when something's going good, you just don't say nothing to ruin it. And we started hot laps there about the 7:30 time frame. I don't know. I don't have the time exactly. All I need to know is we finished at 11:30, and it only took us an hour to run all the heat races. Like an hour, and we were done with all preliminary action. And when that happens, dude, you can't be mad about it, because in the features, we all know the features can go either really haywire or go really good, and everything went relatively smooth, and a really good program out of the Boohill Speedway, man.
Dude, Friday and Saturday night at Lucas Oil Speedway. Another thing I want to shout out about them. They advertise hot laps at 6:30. I shit you not, Cortland. Cars are rolling on the racetrack at 6:30 sharp, like on the dot. We started exactly on time every night. I was done announcing at 9:30. Of course, I only announced the modifieds, but I was done announcing at 9:30 p.m. on Friday night, and I was done at 10:30 on Saturday night. I didn't even know what to do with myself. It was odd, you know, and it's so weird too. Like, as an announcer, I'll be honest, man, it's really hard to get in a rhythm as an announcer when you're not announcing the entirety of the full night. When you go up there, it's like you're trying to get in a rhythm and trying to get in a groove, because you're going in to just do qualifying, and that's like 10 minutes, and you get done with that. You got to wait another 30 minutes. They do heat races. You do 3 heat races, then you wait another 30, 40 minutes, which the night went by quick. It was bam, bam, bam. But yeah, shout out Lucas Oil Speedway. They ran an outstanding program, and we were done at 10:30 both nights. Just good shit. Oh yeah, I also want to mention Tyler Wolf has got a late model now, still block style late model, but he did get or both the late model wins on Friday and Saturday night. He set quick time with his USMTS modified as well both nights. Told you I'd probably find some more tidbits here, and I would drop them throughout the podcast. So anyway, and Jason Hughes also, dude, I interviewed Jason Hughes on Saturday. He won the USRA stock car race on Friday at Lucas Oil Speedway. And I went just to interview him, to talk to him like about this stock car. He's got a Terminator chassis. He said, man, we're just trying to have fun. And we were just bullshitting and talking. And then all of a sudden, I asked Jason about John Williams, a guy that I know from Houghton, Louisiana. He was actually on the phone with him in the pits, and they were talking. And I was waiting on Jason to get off the phone to be able to do an interview with him. And I said, man, what do you think about John Williams? And he said, oh man, he's just a cocksucker. And I was like, whoa.
Oh.
Yeah, I just said that on Clark After Dark. I can say what I want on my podcast. Just saying. We're not going to clip this part for the pod, but that's what Jason said. You can go listen. The race. Listen, and he was just kidding, but dude, it caught me off. Like it caught me by surprise. Like it was in the middle of. I said, "What do you think of John Williams?" And he said that, and I was like, "Damn, Jason!" Like, and I said, "Well, one thing about you, Jason Hughes, is nobody ever has to guess where they stand with you or what you're thinking because you're just gonna tell them." He said, "Well, shit, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do." Like, I've always loved Jason Hughes for his honesty. Like, the dude really just doesn't give a shit. 158 career USNTS wins, won the stock car feature Friday night. But we were just having some small talk, just having fun, and he threw the old CS word out there, which I wasn't expecting. And just like all of you folks weren't expecting on Clark After Dark tonight, but that is exactly what happened. And matter of fact, you can go to raceanddark.com. All the interviews are free, and you can go and watch that interview and watch me go, like, damn, Jason. All right, but it's all good. We love the honesty. Well, moving on up.
Moving on up.
Hey, I'm gonna maybe sing some karaoke this Thursday night. We'll see what happens.
Right.
All right, so we got some big races this weekend. No, let's recap. Real quick. How about the Reaper? Huh? The Reaper. Ryan Gustin, two-time USNTS national champion. The Reaper, Ryan Gustin, won the USA Nationals, and it's not that he just won the USA Nationals. He dominated the USA Nationals, $100,000 richer. Dude, there was a couple times I thought some guys might have a shot at him, but man, he just like Shepard got the second, and I thought, man, there in the late going, I thought Shepard might have something. But man, Ryan, that Infinity race car was just so dialed in on Saturday, man. And keep in mind, he's also won $50,000 in a modified, the USNTS Masters at Cedar Lake. He's won $50,000. Now he's won $100,000. $150,000 in two races in his career in a mod and a late model, dude. Good to see the Marshalltown, Iowa product, Ryan Gustin, get a well-earned, well-deserved win with the World of Outlaws on Saturday night.
The Reaper is here. I don't think he ever went nowhere because that 19R Todd Cooney racing team is just really, really good. And they have worked their way up to some of the elite dirt late model team status in the last couple years. And to see him pick up the win is really, really cool. Just think this in perspective. When we started out the year, we kind of had two surprise winners. We had Tyler Bruning win at Golden Isles, and Garrett Albertson wins his first late model feature at Volusia Speedway Park. Okay, so kind of shocked the Speed Week world there. And then all of a sudden, the 49, the 32, the 20RT, the 99, then all of a sudden, the elite of the elite stepped up and started dominating. But the last two Crown Jewels is won by Brian Shirley and Ryan Gustin. If that's not what you love about dirt late model racing, then I don't know what to tell you, because the fact that Brian Shirley, and it's not a knock to Brian Shirley or Ryan Gustin, it's just the fact that pretty much this year, it seems as if you had to be the 49, 20RT, 32, and in the past 2 years, you had to be one of those three guys to go out there and win Crown Jewels. And the fact that Ryan Gustin has put his name in the elite status of winning $100,000 is just, man, it's cool. It's a guy that worked his way, raced modifieds. I mean, he's 34 years old. I think he's 34. I think I read that in an article. I mean, he's 34 years old. I mean, he has dedicated his life to this racing, and to see it happen. I mean, dude, Todd Cooney was emotional in the interview, like when they called a word with him after the race, man, and you could just tell it all means that much to them. And somebody that's put his whole heart and soul into racing, beat up down the road in a modified, got an opportunity there with the TriStar team, and then all of a sudden gets the Todd Cooney ride. And man, just the way everything's progressed, man. And a lot of them dirt racer guys, I promise you, it's not all glory when you're beating up and down the road, because I promise at some point in time, Gustin was sitting there going, man, is it really worth doing this stuff? And all them big time racers, at some point in time in their career before they got their big break and became elite, sat there in a rig, rained out in some podunk town in America, sitting there questioning if this is really what they want to do the rest of their life or try to make a career out of for right now. And to see him win it, man, is just cool. You mentioned Brandon Shepard, dude. He was there, and he was the first one. If you go read, I think Kevin Kovac has the story, and Shepard just straight up said, like, I I screwed that up. I'm not saying, he said, I'm not saying I was going to win it, but choosing the top on that restart and he went way out wide to get on the cushion before anybody else to try to get a big run. And I literally think 4 cars passed him down the front straightaway and into turn 1 and 2. Yeah. He hit the hole getting into 1, it bottomed and out. So by the time he got down the backstretch, he was already in 6th. And, he'll be the first one to tell you he goofed it up, but the Rocket 1 was right there. And for as fast as he's been lately, here's just some Rocket 1 stats since June 24th. In 20 races, the dude's got 14 top 5s, 2 Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series wins, and a prelim night win at the PDC. And I think when you go through, it's like 4 second-place finishes. And 90% of that is Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series action or World of Outlaw Series action, dude. The Rocket 1 team, the XR2, has turned a corner here in the last month. And has been fast. And I'm saying that I'm not taking nothing away from Gustin. It's just simply, if you were to rank the best driver in the last, say, week and a half or last month, you're going to put the Rocket 1 up there in that list, or one of the best teams in the last month. You're going to put the Rocket 1 up there. And he was hounding on the back door, and Gustin never folded, man. He kept to what he had been doing, run the top, then kind of went to that middle. He accredited being able to run a modified there and knowing how the track changed and just how many times he had been up there and raced there, and just knew how the track progressed, and knew that once Shepard showed the nose at the bottom on that restart, he just needs to get the bottom and keep speed, or the bottom in the middle, get in the middle and just keep speed. And man, like I said, when we started this, dude, the fact that Ryan Gustin won 100,000 to win race, it doesn't shock me. If somebody, it wouldn't have shocked me if somebody told me going the weekend that he won the USA Nationals, but it is really cool considering the last 2 crown jewels have been won by Brian Shirley and Ryan Gustin, just 2 guys that have gave their heart and soul to this racing. And, like I said earlier, nobody deserves anything. You got to work your tail off to get there. But, to see the love go around and the emotion Shirley showed and then the emotion Gustin showed, man, the last 2 weeks for dirt late model racing has been absolutely incredible.
That's what it's all about. And I know that you would appreciate too, like the tire guy, Noah Bushman, right? Who's your daddy, or what do we call him anyway?
Rubber Daddy. Rubber Daddy.
Yeah, Rubber Daddy. Yeah, Rubber Daddy.
Rubber Daddy.
But yeah, no, I mean, who's your daddy, Rubber Daddy? Same difference. But he is, man, he's a great asset to that race team. And here's a point off of something that you mentioned too. You take a driver like Tim McCready and Ryan Gustin, and they will immediately, the driver of their stature will elevate your racing program. And we saw that this year. And, since Gustin's joined this Todd Cooney Motorsports, because whenever they first formed this alliance, he left that Molly 19R, that TriStar team. Everybody's like, oh man, what's this going to be like? And same thing with McCready, right? Everybody's like, oh shit, he's joining Boom Briggs. Like, how well is this really going to go? Like, we're going to see the fall off of McCready's career, right? Because he's not, with the big time teams anymore. But dude, that just goes to show, if you put a really quality race car driver and you give them, the necessities, they can make shit happen. And I think that's what's most impressive about it is Tim McCready and Ryan Gustin, how well that they performed this year. And, for teams that not many people would talk about otherwise, if you had a different driver in there, they truly have made both of those teams lethal week in and week out, and are a force to be dealt with anytime the green flag drops.
Yeah, McCready winning Thursday. I mean, he's turned, like you said, he's really found some speed. They took their lumps at the beginning of the year. I mean, it's a new team. Yep. Everybody's learning each other. And I mean, like you said, when you put really good guys and maybe situations that you sometimes question, but at the end of the day, you need that leader and you need that guy, and Gustin's that guy, and he has Noah Bushman with him, who's been with him since modified days, I believe. When you got him that's been with you, and then I believe the guy's name is Shane. He's been Boom Briggs' crew chief forever, and that that's a really big asset to the Briggs transport team. It just takes time to learn each other. And when you do, and like you said, you got guys at the caliber of Tim McCready and Ryan Gustin, they'll find a way to make speed, and they work the bugs out of the Briggs transport team. And McCready goes and wins the Thursday night prelim of the USA Nationals, and Gustin goes and wins the Saturday feature at Cedar Lake. I also want to add this. Listen to this top 5. I think this is a really cool top 5 from USA Nationals. Ryan Gustin, Mike Marlar passed 14 cars to get to second. Hudson O'Neill 3rd, Nick Hoffman 4th, and Chris Madden finished 5th. The guy who was semi-retired shows up to Cedar Lake and run 3rd on Thursday night and then runs 5th in the USA Nationals. Mikey Marlar passed 14 cars to get to second. Hudson O'Neill passed 12 cars to get to 3rd, and Nick Hoffman passed 21 cars to get to fourth, my friend. There was some passing going on. Tire game was in there. I love a good tire game and a tire race. You had to have your had to have your stuff right. The old tire guy got a good paycheck that night, I guarantee it. But like that top 5 right there with Gustin, Mike Marlar, O'Neill, Hoffman, Madden. 6th was Rocket 1, 7th was the 49 of Jonathan Davenport, 8th was the 20 RT, 9th was Brandon Overton, and 10th was Cody Overton. But it's funny how you got if you were to list that top 10 list and said pick the 5 guys that finish in the top 5, I guarantee somebody would have put Rocket 149 or 20 RT in the top 5. Do you know what I mean? Considering they all finished outside the top 5. So I just thought that was a really cool top 10, man. And we talked about how these different guys have won the last 2 crown jewels. I think we might be in for a pretty good shakeup rolling in, man. We still got big North-South 100. The way it's going, Shirley wins the PDC. What if Josh Rice wins the North-South 100? Florence, Kentucky will never be the same.
Yes. Oh, I'd love that. Dude, that would be so bad. Dude, it's going to happen. I think eventually, while he's in his prime,
eventually
I think he's going to do it. And you know what? And it's unfortunate because there'll be no more Hall of Fame because they're going to burn that bitch to the ground.
I mean, Florence, Kentucky will lose their lid.
You thought that win at Eldora was something. You wait till Josh Rice wins at home. Because he's won the Ralph Henson, or not the Ralph Henson, that's at Texarkana, the Ralph Latham Memorial. Sorry, the Ralph Latham. Yeah. And I also want to add too, I think Mikey Marlar having that run, like you mentioned, 14th to 2nd or 16th to 2nd on Saturday night, that just solidifies after his win with the World of Outlaws at Sharon a couple of weeks ago when he ran them down and walked away with it. I think Mikey might be back. We've been talking about Shepard here lately. Is Tim McCready back? Is Shepard back? Marlar was off, to his standards, right? What we had come to know and expect out of Marlar. But that run Saturday night, I think, has really solidified that he's back in the game, and I think he's got some confidence. I expect the 157 to potentially even win the North-South this weekend, man. He's always been pretty good there. I think 157 is going to be something here at the end of this year.
Man, you can talk to a lot of guys, and this is just, talking to when we did travel and going to talk to people and a lot of drivers and just sitting there hanging out. And not that this conversation happens a lot, but when you talk about guys and you ask, who's a guy that on any condition on any given night, whether you got to go down there and just absolutely hit the bottom, or you got to go down around there and momentum race, or you got to go blast the cushion, or you got to go to the patchy spots, or you're racing in the rubber. And Mike Marlar is that guy that can do all of them. Like that, like people really do put him as one of the most versatile drivers in the country, and the fact that he seems to find speed and is always a threat to win, because it's not like he's just a cushion banger, or it's not like he's just a guy that wants to get around the middle in the black and steer around there, or a guy that has to slide himself. Like Mike Marlar can get it done in any condition. Obviously, like he's Mike Marlar, we know him for a reason, but he's a guy that is very well respected for his racecraft and how good he can be no matter what the condition is.
Yeah, 100%, man. Keep your eyes on the 157 for the rest of the year, because I think he's going to win. I think he's going to start racking up a couple wins here. We'll see what happens. Lake Muller Racing is really competitive right now, and it's a shit ton of fun to watch. Moving on from late models, let's hit up the Knoxville Nationals real quick. This is the Knoxville Nationals this weekend at the granddaddy of them all, the Knoxville Raceway, Knoxville, Iowa. Man, what an event. That is one event that I would really love to get to at some point in my life. It will start tomorrow night. They will be split up into several different groups. But Kyle Larson is trying to win the Knoxville Nationals for the 3rd consecutive year. Do you think anybody, do you take Young Money, or do you take the field, Cortland?
I'm going to take the field. I'm going to take the field. I'm going to take, and the only reason I say that is because this late model love and these not hometown heroes necessarily for Gustin, but a win at Cedar Lake is almost like a hometown for as much as he's done at that place, really. But dude, just this whole vibe, man. I mean, James McFadden winning the other night at Knoxville, dude, he was lights out fast. And then I believe it was Dazen Pursley that finished 2nd. I'm 90 and Brian Brown 3rd. Bro, Brian Brown winning the Knoxville Nationals. I'm a Brownie fan. I mean, that poor Casey's across the street will be demolished, and the gas tank. Casey's pizza for free for the rest of the weekend, probably, because you ain't gonna be able to get them out of there. I mean, it just. But man, just a lot of guys have showed a lot of speed at the other night there at Knoxville. What do they call it? The Capitani Classic, I think, is the name of it. I don't want to. Yep. And and McFadden was just dude lights out, and I know in the past Knoxville's rubbered up and Larson's won one in the rubber in the last 2 years. So, and the fact that it kind of rubbered up again this weekend, I know that they're going to do their absolute best to make sure the track is racing. Like, it's not like Knoxville rubbers up every single weekend, but
Right.
the fact that it has kind of rubbered up in the past and so many laps have been turned on that place in the last couple of weeks with the 360 Nationals, Capitani Classic, then we roll into the Knoxville Nationals, which is like a 4-day long event. Man, if it rubbers up, it's going to be a guy. If it does, I'm hypothetically speaking here, throwing all crooks and crannies, like a guy like James McFadden or Brian Brown or a Days and Pursley that qualifies good and runs a good heat race and starts up front, and it rubbers up early, and you save your tire and you just out front leading it. I mean, it could literally be anybody's game, man. The qualifying nights are so important. By all means, the best of the best will always show up and they'll find their way into the A main. But I really feel like it might be a crapshoot. I mean, the obvious answers are Kyle Larson and then Rico Abreu just seems like a shoe in at Knoxville. Yeah, I mean that's I ain't taking your pick there. I'm just throwing out names of guys that are historically just good there. And you know, it wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised. Donnie Shot, dude. That's the place that Donnie just always seems to run. Knoxville and Eldora, Donnie Schatz has always got a chance no matter what. I don't care where his program is at any time. That's just my opinion. But man, I feel like it's wide open as ever, man. And we say that, of course, your favorites are going to be your favorites. But dude, I mean, after James McFadden went out there and did what he done, and the Days and Pursley and Brian Brown, after that top three, man, like it's like, man, it really could be anybody's ball game.
I really feel like it's Rico's year. I do. I just think it's Rico's year. I think it's his time to shine. I think that he's had the car to do it. I think if everything goes his way, I think Rico's going to win the Knoxville Nationals for the first time in his career. And I think it'd be a super popular win for him. But like you said, it'd be awesome to see Brian Brown or somebody like that win the race. And there's a lot of local drivers that just run like Knoxville. Chase Randall's made a lot of laps there the last couple of years. There's guys like him who could sneak in there and have a really good run. It is one of the most iconic and the most badass dirt track race in the world. I mean, we love the World 100 and the Dirt Late Model Dream, but as far as sprint car racing goes, this is the Mecca. This is the granddaddy of them all, and it is certainly worth your attention. It is going to be a badass weekend in Knoxville. There's no doubt about that. Back to local stuff to wrap up the podcast tonight. Of course, man, you've got your dad's memorial race this weekend, the Darty Smith Memorial. Super excited about that. Sabine Speedway, man. You've got some great. Yeah, I love the Sabine Speedway hat, man. Before we get to anything further, and I should have said this at the very top of the podcast. It has been heavy on my heart, and I didn't mean to forget. But man, I just want to send much love and I've been praying for him and for strength for the Abear family, man. Shane lost his brother Danny, man, well before his time. Danny's a former racer, obviously number 99, and it's just really tough, man. I couldn't imagine losing my brother. That's so young too. I mean, before you're in your 50s, it's heartbreaking. It truly is. Like, cancer just sucks. That's all there is to it. Just want to send a lot of love out to his wife, Danny's wife, who I know is going through a very tough time. Shane and the entire Abear family, man. They're just really good people. I've known them for a long time, and it's just a really tough loss. And I know for you made a comment yesterday. We were just talking, and it kind of occurred to me how I know how much this race means to you, and I think Shane's kind of going through, kind of. I know you lost your dad, but Shane losing his brother, who he was really close to, that hurt. It's just you can't replace these people. You'll never replace your dad, but it is very nice to be able to get to a racetrack and honor him doing something that that he loves so much. And I know for Shane, it may not be the Danny Abear Memorial this week, but I know it's going to be heavy on his heart too. And really, I know y'all won't talk about this, but I'm glad that y'all can kind of join forces and come together and get to enjoy the sport this weekend and in memory of two great men.
Yeah, 100%. I just want to hit the same thing. All prayers and condolences to the Abear family, man. I'm gonna say it like this, and I hope this doesn't come off wrong. When people sit there and say, "Man, I know," this is speaking on my past experiences, and I'll tie it in with the Abear family. As you can tell, my voice changed. It's just very emotional stuff we're talking about, but we can talk about it. You know what I mean? And people say, "Man, I know what you're going through," and people told me that, and then it was people that lost their father, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but no, you don't know what they're going through, because no two situations in life are the same. we can try to compare and do everything. And that's something I try to really, I'm a teacher now, and I try to tell kids, like no life is the same for any one of us, no matter how closely you can line up and everything matches up, nothing's the same. And, the only thing that can help is prayer and support. And I'm probably saying too much right now, but I texted Shane on Saturday, and I told him, I said, dude, look, I said, man, y'all are going through too much. Like I'm not saying, like, again, I didn't say I understood what you're saying, but man, you lost a close family member. If you need to push this back to another week, like we can, it's no hard feelings. Like I get it. If you need a week. And he texted me back and said, no, they would want us to be at a racetrack. I want to be at a racetrack. And that's where our, not that he doesn't have a family outside, but that is really
Right.
our family, man. And like that mess you sent, I sent, sometimes racing is just bigger than racing. And I wholeheartedly mean that. And I always use my examples because I know them best. When my dad passed away, and I looked throughout the church that day, I got to go up there and say a few words about my dad. And when half of that church is taken up with racing people, and that just tells you, and guys that drove 3.5 hours on election day during COVID, I mean, just all the scenarios, there was half of those guys. I mean, I always throw him out because I know he drove all the way from Prattsville, Arkansas. Timmy Colt drives all the way down there, and Timmy and Dad were butts, and man, and even the wake before, there was people that told me they waited, 3 hours, just trying to get there. And man, it just, you realize that this racing deal, we enjoy it. And, sometimes we love the drama and we love the, the flares and the fights. But man, when you really think about it, big picture, and guys that race a lot, dude, like these racers are our family. We spend more time with them than we do our family members, because 2 nights out of the weekend, this is who we hang out with. This is who we pit beside. This is who, everything, all of our schedules are exactly the same. We schedule after the race schedules come out. We plan vacations around everything. So, in big picture, man, it's kind of like what I said earlier, dude. Racing, sometimes just racing is more than just racing, man. It's a part of life, and it's a part of life. And people may truly go racing to race and the competitive side, and yes, that's all part of it. But at the end of the day, you got to enjoy the people you're around, man. And I think, and to tie this all back in with the Hebert family, man, I can't thank Shane and them enough. The thoughts and prayers are with them. And I really hope for a good turnout this weekend, man. It's what the Hebert family needs. We got boosted money for 9th and 19th place finishes in memory of Danny to honor him. They got boosted money for those 2 things. I still got some more people, dude. They've been pouring in all week, man. And it's something, I've been really busy in life. I'm not gonna make no excuses. It's partially me for not kind of waiting a little bit later to get stuff out, but dude, people are still, I promise you, there's a lot of 9th and 19th and 7th and 17th place finishers going to leave a lot more money than what it's advertised right now. And, just to wrap it all up, the thoughts and prayers to the Hebert family. Can't thank Shane and the entire crew at Sabine Speedway enough for being willing to do this. And at the end of the day, dude, racing is bigger than racing, dude. It's, racing is our lives, and then these are our family members, no matter what you say. And I will always throw that reference up when people ask me about certain situations and why you still go to them races and stuff. You don't race no more. And it's like, dude, at my lowest point, I had 100 or 100 plus of y'all guys show up, and that will always be the reason why. If it comes out, I'll go ahead and bust it. If it comes out in the documentary, I cried when the dirt guy was interviewing me for the Boothill documentary, man. I cried and said, like, he goes, why are you here this weekend? And I told him, man, I lost my dad when I was 20 years old to COVID. And I started bawling. I said, these guys are my family. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else on a Friday or Saturday night, man. And I've rambled on enough. I don't know where I'm going. Thoughts and prayers to the Hebert family, man. I hope this hits home with somebody about how racing is really bigger than racing when we sit down and think about it and really enjoy it, man. Because at the end of the day, these guys are our family. You may only talk to them once a year, but these guys, I know, I feel confident. My mom can drive anywhere in the country, and because of racers, if she had a flat tire on the side of the road, she's going to be taken care of within an hour. And that's why racing is just bigger than racing sometimes. And that's how I wrap this up. Come out to the Darty Smith Memorial this weekend if you want to talk about it more. You can. I'm done on my little soapbox there.
We've talked about it on this podcast before, but you know how I feel and how I felt about your father. He was one of the greatest men I've ever known. And I will always feel that way. It really breaks my heart, to be honest with you, Cortland, that I haven't been able to be a part of this event more than I have. I've only been a part of one of them. I know they were at Thunder Valley there for several years. And, I just I wish that I could be, more part of it, in the past, but because your dad just meant so much to me. He really did, man. I've talked about this before. He was just such a giving man, but more than that, I appreciated his friendship. The last time I saw him, we sat out there after the rev and we talked. He bought my hotel room because he didn't feel bad for me. He did not want me. He did not want me driving back to Texarkana that night. I was announcing at the rev. It was a 2-day race weekend, and he was like, he's like, you are not driving back to Texarkana tonight. And I was like, well, so he told me he's going to kick my ass if I didn't let him buy me a hotel room. So I followed him to the hotel. He didn't really cuss though. He didn't say he's going to kick my ass. So no, he did not say that. I'll just make that clear. He's going to kick my butt maybe. But anyway, and the dude Darty was just awesome. I will never forget. Like I have vivid memories. I can see it in my head right now. Us standing out front of that hotel and us talking, and I'll never forget shaking his hand and just thanking him and just golly, dude. Like I truly man, I get so caught up and don't even know how to put into words. But since your dad's memorial race is this weekend, whew, man, I'm sorry. I don't even know or expect, dude. I just want to say, dude, and I know I've said it like golly, if every man in this world strived to be like Jesus or like your dad, which I know that's what he was, golly, I wish people could have met Darty Smith because he had an impact on my life. He really did, man. He was a great man. I really do miss your dad, man. I mean that. I'm sorry that I really it breaks my heart that you lost him when you did, but I'm sorry to get emotional. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but
Yeah.
and I love you too, dude. You're just like him, and that's why I love you so much, man. You are just like your father. But anyway, that's Clark After Dark episode 46 right here. I'm all emotional for some reason. Like it just comes.
Well,
sometimes it happens. But anyway,
well,
that's
before we
all
head
I thought.
off, dude, I appreciate it, man. And I mean, and it's not just you, dude. I still have I got grown men. And I ain't gonna out nobody, but if you want to know, I'll tell you in private. I ain't gonna out nobody, but I got grown 50, 40-year-old men that come up to me all the time, and I'll be cutting up, and they just all of a sudden I see a tear, and I'm like, man, you all right? And he goes, and now I'm not saying this for me. He's like, dude, you just remind me so much of your dad. I can't. He goes like, what you just said right there is exactly Darty in prime time at a racetrack, and there's nothing Darty Smith loved more than being at a racetrack on a Saturday night and then going to church on Sunday morning. And dude, he was awesome. I'm not going to be him. I never will be as cool as him. I mean, that dude was just an absolute stud. I'll go ahead and say it. He's pretty cool dude, man. Darty's got some stories and he's met some pretty cool people. But before we get out of here, I'm not doing my job on the podcast if I don't do this right on the RaceON platform this weekend.
Yeah,
we got the Darty Smith Memorial at Sabine Speedway, big limited modified B mod event, guys. Please show up, show out. I mean, I don't have to sit here and pitch for myself. If you want to know who Darty Smith was, go ask 90% of the pit area at any racetrack within the state of Louisiana, and I'm sure somebody has a story. I'll put it like that. Then we got 2 days at Arklatex. They got a back to school bash. I believe the Southern State Modifieds are racing there on Saturday. The Rev is racing Saturday night. Monette Motor Speedway in Missouri's racing on the RaceON platform. Hot Speedway has kids night. So if we got any Waco listeners down there, it's kids night down there. I don't know exactly what all they got going on, but bring the kids out there. KSP 2000 Win Sport Mods, man, just a heck of a, like we talked about KSP earlier, just one of the premier tracks of the DFW area. Texana Raceway Parks racing. Grayson County Speedway is also racing, and 105 Speedway is racing as well. And I've said and about 15 times. I shouldn't have done that. My English teacher's going to be mad at me. And then to wrap it all up, not on the RaceON platform, but where a lot of our local and regular guys will factory stocks, the old Haymaker, the big dog factory stock guys, the factory stock frenzy at 67 Speedway, man, event put on by Peyton Taylor and his crew. $750 for 24th and $775 for 23rd. It goes up $25 all the way. I believe it's $1,000 for 13th place. Just a really good paying event. When I talked to Peyton Taylor, I talked to him at Justin's race, and he was like, man, what you doing that weekend? I said, dude, that's my weekend. My dad's memorial race. I ain't gonna be there. And like his face dropped. He's like, man, he goes, I didn't realize it. And I don't think we meant for schedules to collide there. And it just happened to be, I think 67 had that night that was available to run, and it is what it is. But and if you're a factory stock guy and want to go run for really good money, go up there. I know we got some added money in the USRA factory stocks at Sabine as well. If you want to come see me and hang out, I don't believe, unless I get the last minute call to be on the broadcast, I'm just going to be walking around the pits. And if you need your sheet metal beat out or you're in a bind, I'm hoping I'm just gonna walk around and be Cortland Smith for the night, man. I'm just gonna go hang out and enjoy the weekend. If you can make it out to Sabine Speedway, by all means do so. And if not, go make Darty Smith proud and show up and support any racetrack you can. If you weren't going there, he'd be mad if you didn't go somewhere else if you weren't going there anyways. And that's the bottom line, because Darty Smith said so. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, not because Stone Cold said so, because Darty Smith said so. That is correct.
Yeah,
sir.
Racetrack on Saturday night till 2 a.m. and then we may roll into church a little late, but we'd get there by about 11. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hope everybody enjoyed the podcast this week, folks. We truly did not know what we were going to talk about this week. Obviously, with me, I mean, we kind of have a general idea of what we're typically going to talk about. We like to recap what happened to the races the prior week, but we typically don't know. We fly by the seat of our pants. Like, I don't think either of us had any notes for tonight. I was out of town this weekend and just got back. I wasn't at Boothill, so I relied on you for a lot for that stuff. So thank you for the great job you continue to do here, man. Love doing this podcast with you, and look forward to seeing you again next Tuesday night. This is in episode number 46 of Clark After Dark. I'm all stuffy now. I got to get out of here. Y'all be blessed and be a blessing. We'll see you this weekend at a racetrack near you.
Holla.